What's going on, running fans, jumping fans, throwing fans, all around athletics fans? Welcome to Talking in Ovals. I'm Alex Cuesta. He's Dave Hyatt. I already stumbled over my words. It's already going to be a great podcast. What's up, Hyatt?
Not much. Tell you what, it was a great week. It was good seeing people have their last couple tune-up races before nationals, and it was good seeing people actually get back on the track after a long time. To see kind of where they're at and if they're ready to go. Some of them kind of answered the bell, and it looks like it's going to be a great nationals. And I want to give a shout out to one of our past guests, Eric Holt, for winning the 1500 at the New York Grand Prix. I still know why this guy doesn't have a sponsor, why he's not signed. The guy was fourth at nationals last year. You know, he just won the New York Grand Prix. Come on, people, get this guy a contract.
And you got Eric Sawinski out there doing his thing, pacing, competing.
And then come back in the 8.
Yeah. So, we've had on some great guys, and it's been a fantastic run, and we're going to have more and more. But before we get into all the fun stuff, like, share, follow, subscribe, rate 5 stars, Spotify and iTunes. Spread this word of mouth, and go find us on socials at Talking in Ovals. Last week I said the wrong show because I'm an idiot. At Talking in Ovals. And, if you're listening, this is Monday, the 26th of 2023 that we are recording. So talking about last week's show, we had a great guest on. Like, we had the perfect timing. We had Ricardo Santos, the distance coach for Stanford University, and it was just timing couldn't be more perfect. He just had, Kai Robinson go and double in the 10K, 5K. He had Charles Hicks, sorry to Mama Hicks, not Charlie, Charles. I was corrected last week, but he came in second over there in the 10K, and it was just a fantastic showing. Go back, listen to that. Awesome show. Hear all about Ricardo's past and everything going on there. We have some more PRs this week, though, Hyatt.
It's
Coach Blue over in Baltimore giving us some more because she's fantastic. Again, Train Academy in Baltimore. We have a bunch of 17-year-olds here. More names that I might butcher. We have Doyen Smith ran a 50.04 in the 400. Cameron Baker, a 50.54 in the 400. And Ayo Afolabi, I really butchered that one. Sorry, Ayo. 206 in the 800. So some good summer times there. I know people might be listening, but these are some good summer times for some 17-year-olds tuning up. And I have to say, last week, Blue told me that Daniel Agunmodede said I pronounced his name well last week. So I'm happy, Daniel. Thank you. I'm happy I pronounced your name well. But that's all we got for this week. Listen, it is 5K season. It is marathon. It is 10K season. It's, road race mile season. I want to hear about them. I know Hyatt wants to hear about them. Send them to us. I don't care if you run a 30-minute 5K, if you run a 4-hour marathon. If that is your PR, we want to let the world know because you should be talked about. All of us should be talked about. So even if you do a summer circuit and you're a thrower or a jumper, send it to us. We want to know about it, okay? So let's move on to our guest this week because, Hyatt, we have another Olympian on the show, which is always cool when you get to talk to somebody that who has been to the Olympics. He is David Verburg. He is a USA 400-meter champion and Olympic athlete. David, what's up, brother?
Oh, hey, thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's... looking forward to the conversation. I'm sorry, you just froze out on my side. I went nuts. But looking forward to having this conversation with you. I want to jump right into it. Our first segment that we do with all of our guests. What was your moment that you got a spark to become a runner, to do the whole running thing? And, how young were you? When was the time where you're looking at this going, you know what? I like running in circles. Let's do this. Or ovals. Running in ovals. I screwed up our own show name.
Let's see. That was probably sophomore year of high school. It was after soccer season because I played soccer first. And I was in Wyoming at the time. So it was like soccer first, then like a little bit of track season for me. And it was because the girls traveled on the bus with the guys. That's what got me into track and field. I'm not gonna lie.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It wasn't some quest for glory at the time. It was because I could ride with the guys. Because in Wyoming, you have to understand, we had like 6-hour bus rides everywhere. Everything's so spread apart. So it's like, okay, be on the bus with guys for 6 hours, or half the team is. Yeah, I'll go half the team is girls. It seemed like a good option. So that's what got me in the track. And it just kind of went up from there. So yeah, it was my introduction anyway.
Might be the best reason that we've had so far.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
I saw something a little bit about you on YouTube where they're interviewing your old high school coach, and he said that you were really into the 100, 200 at first, and then he had to kind of persuade you to run that extra 200 meters and to get in the 400 because it was best for the team, and you were always a team guy. So how did that whole conversation go, and what was that transition like going from the 1 and the 2 to bump up to the 4 where, that's kind of what you've done great for your whole career now?
Yeah, I'm glad he spoke so highly of me. I need to go and watch that because I don't remember going that eloquently when I was younger. It seemed a little more chaotic. But honestly, my first introduction to 400 was a punishment. I was missing practices. Like conveniently, I would miss like certain practices. This is in high school. My work ethic wasn't where it needed to be. I'm not gonna lie. It was a work in progress. And so I would conveniently miss certain practices, and I wouldn't tell them until like last minute. And so he finally got fed up. Like, you run the 400 on Wednesday meet. And so I ran 50 point something my first 400. And so like in my district, that was probably, I think, the fastest time in the district at the time. I was pretty good. And they're like, yeah, nobody on the team was running 50 points. I was like, hey, guess what? You run the 400 now. It was strictly I was just trying to run until I died and just hold on. That was my whole strategy back then. Didn't change a whole lot. I'm not gonna lie, when I got older, but that was the introduction anyway. It was just kind of like, okay, well, look, you're here and here in the 1 and the 2, and you're here in the 4. So, like, what do you want to work on? It's like, all right, you make a good point. I was like, I want to do all of them, and so he was like, all right, well, that's fine, but you're gonna do the 4. So as long as you're doing the 4, I don't care what you do after that, but you're doing the 400. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do all 3, and that's like right after Xavier Carter. During really Xavier Carter was
the X-Man.
I remember having like the X-Man poster on my wall from the Track and Field News magazine. I remember I threw up the X after tracking one day. Why? Because X-Man did it. Like it was cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So him doing all 3 events, I was like, all right, I can do all 3. And so that's what kind of got me segue into like we're going the 1 and 2. I only did 100 meter run in college. And then I did like 3 200s my entire all college career.
Wow. Yeah, it is funny though how those high school coaches use that 400 as that punishment. Especially at the end of every meet, they're like, "Do we have 4 guys who want to run a 4x4? Anybody? Anyone?"
Yeah, I don't like that though because it gets the wrong mentality, and then you have kids scared of it versus like trying to attack it and go after it, like really trying to hone their craft. So now they're going into it with fear in their heart versus like trying to conquer, like they do the 1, the 2, the 8, like some this fear around the 400 and just,
I remember in high school, our coach, legendary coach, John Musoff, he was the indoor coach, started an indoor program at our high school. And he used the 400 as kind of like the measuring stick. He would make kind of everyone, and unless he knew what you were already, if you were an older, but if you were a younger guy coming on the team, he said, get on the track, you're going to run it all at 400. And he would be able to tell right from there, okay, you're more of a short sprinter, you're more of a distance guy, you're kind of where you live here, 248. So he used that as a measuring stick, and he was a guy that would live and die by the 4x4. He said the 4x4 was the heart of your team, that you can have everything else. But if you could find 4 good 400-meter runners, that means you have a good team because that means you got some fast guys. That means you got some distance guys, and they can all come together. So, I mean, I like that approach where it wasn't necessarily a punishment. It was a time trial. So if you wanted to be on this team, you were serious about track, you were going to go try and run a good 400 as a young person. Now, as you got older, it was kind of like, coach, I don't want to do that. I know what I got to do. But so when you ran that first 400 and you ran it well, was it kind of a bittersweet moment? Like, okay, I found something I'm really good at on the track, but damn, does it got to be the 400? Like, was that kind of a bittersweet time?
For sure. I mean, because at the time, like I said, mentally I was a 1-2 runner. So I'm trying to speed. I'm trying to get in, get out, and so just the training for the 400 alone is just grueling. So yeah, I did not embrace the 400. Even up to like I got to college and I told my college coach, like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be like a 1-2 guy for you. And he kind of basically just like laughed in my face. Yeah, he basically laughed in my face at that point. But I still was, set on this 1-2 career that never ever happened. So
you were looking forward to just doing a whole bunch of starts, a whole bunch of like progression 1s and 2s, and then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, no, your progression 200s, that turns into a 90% 200. Go for it. Like, and you're like, all right, and do 6 of them. Enjoy. Like,
I now have broken quarters, 2x2, 3x100, 10 200s and 27.
a lot of ins and outs. Yep.
Oh yeah, the good stuff. So quickly, freshman year was rough for me. I'm not gonna lie. I tried to quit a couple times. Yeah, it was a rough go. So it wasn't like this whole. I would love to say like as soon as I got on campus, like I wanted to be the man. I was trying to be champ. Hell, I was trying to hell on, man. Like, yeah, this is crazy. I remember my first practice. I thought the warm up was the workout. Like I remember we finished it was like a 45-minute warm up. We did all these drills and running. I'm like, okay, like I'm beat. I'm like, okay, like I remember we finished that, we getting water. I'm like, all right, I'm about to walk back. He's like, all right, guys, get on the line. The fuck you mean? Get on the line. Get on what line, bro? Bro, get on what line? Get on the line.
Yeah,
like, I promise. Like in my mind, I was like, did we do something wrong? Like, what do you mean? Like we ran the workout. Like, I remember going home, calling my dad, like, yeah, I can't. I'm coming home. Like, I'll just get a job or something because I can't do track. Like this college thing's not for me. If I have to figure something else out, I'll do it, but I can't do this. Nope.
Right. And in high school, you were what, like a 47-point kid?
Yeah, my best was 47. I want to say 14.
Yeah,
I ran that one time, and then I floated like 47 mids, like 47.3 at like Nike, I think.
And then you go to a great school, George Mason, down by DC, and that's big time track there, especially at that time. So it's always good to and interesting to hear how the transition is and how much more work is involved from high school to college, because that's when it starts to become I guess like more of a job than kind of more of like like I'm just out here running with my friends. Now it's like, all right, like I'm either getting a scholarship, like I have to do well. So there's that internal pressure that kind of seeps in too.
Oh, 100%. Because it's now a job, right? We're competing for scholarships on the team. We're competing for travel. We're competing for meal money. We're competing for, spots on the athletic website, right? Like, because every little thing we're all competing for. So it now becomes work. All right. So but I will say that transition was helped because we had a very competitive team at the time. So we all came in around the same time. We had some transfers from Tech, like Nick Vaughn. We had David Verburg at the time, who was the Nike national champion from the year before, the Virginia State champion as well. So there were a lot of good guys, and we were a really young crew. So that was really helpful, just because we all came in at the same time, and we wanted to do better. But 100% it's a job. We now have 6 a.m. study hall you have to be at. After that, you have weights you have to be at. Practice you have to be at. So you have 6 hours of mandatory things that you now have to do. And it's like, okay, well, when am I supposed to? And you also have all these classes. Congratulations. And a new social life. So good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
So I got to ask, was the upgrade in women kind of motivation to stay on there too? Because girls are motivation in high school. They are women in college, all right? And when you're with college women, track athletes, you got the cream of the crop in athletics there, okay? Like, was that a motivation to stay on?
I'm not gonna lie, because my girlfriend now, love you, babe. She's a track athlete. She was a D1 athlete as well. So yes, D1. College athletic women, cream of the crop. Yes, for sure. But no, that kind of shifted. I'm not gonna lie. There's still motivation because I wanted to travel and go see all the girls from the ACC, from the SEC. Like I'll do my roster searches from the night before, get on Facebook. I do all the shit. Like, oh, you're gonna be there. Oh, yeah. I had a good time in college. Not like that. Just friendly person.
Oh yeah.
So as you're in college, like at what point did you really start to feel like I can run at this national level in college? Like, I can be with all these top guys. Like, was that right away, or kind of like you said, like like at first you're like, I don't know if I can do this, or like at what point did you transition to where your whole mind frame changed? You're like, I got to really work. I got to put in the time. I got to listen to the coaches. I got to do everything right that I can, because I can compete with anybody in the whole country.
So there was an exact moment really that kind of changed everything. It was my sophomore year. I had ran 46 low, something like that, PR'd by a little bit. I went out to USA's at the end of the year when they have the what's it called? They used to have like the A and B section, or like the B standard to make it in.
Yeah, right. B standard.
With 400. So like I had the B standard, didn't have the A, so I went. But I was just a no-name college kid, so they didn't let me run. So because they had their spots full supposedly. And I remember watching, and they had open lanes there because people don't show up, people didn't speed, and they had so many open lanes. And I'm just sitting there, and I was like, never again. Like I remember telling my coach, I looked at him, I was like, never again will I sit here because I wasn't able to make it in. And so we went home, and like everything kind of changed at that point. So I started working on my hydration, my stretching. At practice, I now treated practice. No longer did I try to just get through practice. Like, how can I get better at practice? Like, now I'm going to practice. What's my form doing? What is my
purpose now?
Yeah, like I had a purpose for being in practice. It wasn't just like I want t-shirts and travel. It's like, nah, fuck that. Like I want to beat everybody. Like it snapped. Like that sitting in that stands like did it for me. And I was like, nah, this is a terrible feeling, and you can fix it yourself. And that was the thing. It's like you can't blame anybody but yourself. Because at the end of the day, I had to ask myself, what was I doing to achieve this goal of mine, which was to run this fast time in the 400, right? Am I going to practice? Okay. But what are you doing in practice? And then what are you doing after practice? You have all this time, but what are you doing to achieve this goal? Like even little 1% things daily, like what are you doing? And I like
eating right, like diet and
going to sleep on time.
Going to sleep.
Yes, all that. Like
not partying as much, all that type of stuff. Yep.
And I look at myself like I'm staying up all night, like not partying, but
you're in DC Metro. You're in DC Metro there. Like you're a train ride away from DC Metro. You're right next to, George Washington right over there. Like
Washington,
you got Georgetown.
Yeah, exactly. So plenty of opportunities within a 10-mile radius to go and have a really good time all the time.
Exactly. The time. Right there.
But it takes that mental switch to say, this is what I have to do to be great.
Yeah, no, it was definitely like and that's the thing when people say like, oh, you just have to, I wouldn't say believe, achieve, like you have to take the mental first. You have to take the mental steps to what you want before you can even take the physical steps to map out the plan. So something has to tell yourself like, you have to do it for yourself. You have to have that switch because nobody, no matter how much they love you, care for you, want you to achieve, can do it for you, right? Nobody. So you have to tell it to yourself. And I had to have an honest moment, look in the mirror and be like, you're sucking because it's you. Like you suck because you do not try enough. Not because you're not good enough. It's like you don't try enough. That's why you suck.
Yeah, and it's like,
go ahead.
Can't blame coach. Can't blame anything else. You got to blame and look at yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was me. The workouts are there, but what am I treating him right? Am I recovering to do his workouts? Am I hitting the weight so I can maintain his workouts? Like, no, I'm not. So it's not
me.
Am I
stretching? Yeah.
Give me the tools. I'm fumbling around, fucking around with them. I don't know how to use them. I know how to use them. I just choose not to.
So, David, you mentioned, Hyatt mentioned the coach and everything. How important was your relationship with your coach at that point? When you were like, was there a kind of a moment when you said that, when coach was just kind of like, finally, let's get to work? What was your relationship with your coach like, pre getting serious as opposed to post getting serious? How important was that?
First off, shout out to Coach BG Dean. Amazing coach. Probably one of the better overall coaches in the country, to be honest. So shout out to him. And no, he treated me the same, honestly, the entire time because he saw something that I didn't see. I was also probably a dumb little hothead. Not probably, I was at the time. And so our relationship, we had a great relationship. We had open communication. We would get angry with each other sometimes. You get mad at me, I would get mad at him, but that's open and honest, right? Like it was emotional because we both cared about what we were doing. And it showed. Like we had early practice, like we changed the schedule around. Sometimes we had early practices before just to get the work in. So he made sure that in the chaos of running a college program, he made sure that he still took time to make sure he showed me the attention that I might have needed to just get that extra little bit that he saw. Because I didn't see it at first. And I was wondering why he was so hard on me. Like, I felt like nothing was ever good enough. Like, dang, man, like, get off my back. Like, we get off the line. But David, get in the front. Like, bro, we just started. Like, but he pushed me because I wasn't pushing myself at that time until it finally clicked. But he still kept the pedal to the metal the entire way. But it was, that relationship, honestly, was was what made me the runner I was. Because I had a great relationship with Mike Holloway as well at UF when I moved to train down there. And again, it just adds to the training. It adds to the competition because you have that next level of care behind you, right? You want to do well, but also you want to do well because your coach believes in you, and now you want to show that what we're doing together is working. And it's a different connection when you have a connection with your coach, and then you achieve these times and these records and these things that it means so much more when you have that connection with your leadership, with your coach.
Yeah. So you were at that meet, U.S. Nationals, sophomore year. You don't get a chance to run. You made this huge mental change and training. From that point on, how did you see your career kind of skyrocket? Like, was it all based on times, or was it just based on, how you raced, who you were racing? Like, did you know coming into that junior year that, all right, this is different?
I didn't know until I knew training was going well, but I didn't know until indoors. Indoor my junior year, I went to Spire out in Ohio, and I dropped a 45.8, which was like the number of time back then, like indoors. So I was like, yeah, like it's like the switch worked, like the training's working, like I can do this. Not, and mind you, it didn't stay that way because you had SEC would come and ruin that real quick, and then like the rest of the world started running. But it told me, like, just even seeing that there for, like, I think it was there for like 2 weeks, whatever it was. Like, just seeing that was like, yeah, like you can do this, right? Like, it's there, it's right there. So that whole change, and then I went from that to my sophomore year was like 46.2, 46.1 to junior year I went 45.0. 45.06. So I dropped the second.
Listen,
massive jump. Wow.
Anytime you can run your PR in the 400, the following indoor as opposed to outdoor, that's good. I mean, obviously it's different now because now you have tracks like Boston that are just insanely fast. But
Boston,
they weren't all tracks were not all like that then. Spikes were not all like that then. Like it was harder to run indoor, especially in the 400 down. It was harder. Just way more turns. Right. So that's cool. So you're in 45.0 outdoors. Now, where does that get you in terms of nationals, running 45.0 your junior year?
So at the time, I was the number one in the country, and then I floated around. Like, I didn't leave the top 5 at that point. And then I got 4th in nationals that year because I remember Tony McQuaid. Shout out to my boy. Tony McQuaid won. He was like 44.
He was on a lot of your gold medal winning relay teams.
Oh yeah, no, Tony, that boy can get his thing. That's like one of the smoothest 400 runners to run. Like I can tell we're both done. I can tell him now. Like I used to watch Tony's videos to try to figure out like how to run better. Mind you, he's my competition. I'm like, no, I gotta figure this out. Like, what's going on? But that was the year Tony won, and like Gil Roberts, and I'm trying to think who else was out there. I'm missing names, but yeah, like people were rolling, not how they were now, but still going 44 mids back in like 2012. So I got 4th 2 years in a row, actually. I got 4th in 2012, and then my senior year, which that hurt the most, 2013, because my senior year I was going in trying to win. Like, yeah. I mean, it was me. I had a great season before, like great season leading up. Me, Brashawn Nellam, DL Lindor, may he rest in peace, man. And then I'm trying to think who else was up there. Who else beat me? So I got 4th. I'm missing somebody, but yeah, I got 4th again, and that one stung. Like I was pissed about that one. Yeah.
So you get 4th 2 years in a row. At that point, you're done with your collegiate career. What's that decision like? Were you trying to soul search there? Like, do I go pro? Because, it's difficult. It's difficult to be a track and field pro. It's not an easy career. It's something that we're trying to change here. I know you would like to change that for the athletes currently, but that's a tough decision because it's like, I'll go home and get a real job, make some real money, or I'm going to go try and find some couches and get some job and be a pro and train my ass off to maybe win some money if I'm good enough. So what was that decision like post-college to eventually go pro?
I honestly didn't even think about it. Like, in the sense that there was no plan B because plan A was going to happen. And that, not to sound cocky or overconfident, but it was like, dude, like, I was going to make this work. Like, I was going to make this work. And if it didn't work, I tried because I got to try. Like, I can't just get this close and be, I'm flirting with 44 at this point. Like, I'm running 45.0. Like, I'm right there. So no, I knew right off. Like as soon as I crossed the line, I was like, all right, this is now a business. Like this is now my job. So I remember I talked to some agents. That next day, I want to say I went and had to sit down in the room. It was still athletic, so they were a big time agency. They had some big time names. And they were kind of like, yeah, like we were hoping you were going to run 44, but didn't kind of, trying to give me like the him and haw, like, oh, we can help you. You fucking help me. Don't, but now like looking back, like I knew what they were doing, but look, anyway, so like, yeah, like we'll take you on, like basically making it seem like,
charity case.
They're doing you a favor.
Yeah, like we'll take you on. Mind you, I'm young, dumb, from Mason, just trying to make it like, hell yeah, man. I told them right there, like I'll be one of the best 400 runners in the world. I was like, just give me some time. Like I told them right there to their face. I told John Regis, Ramon Clay, like to their face. I was like, I will be one of the best 400 runners. Just give me some time. Like just give me a chance to figure this crap out. Cause I'm still new to the 400 really. I'm still new to the track really. So like just give me a chance. So I signed to them and then signed to Adidas very shortly after that. I was blessed to have two contracts with Adidas over the span of 8 years.
So how was that whole process? So like, there was a huge transition from high school to college, but there was still, you were still doing them. You still had classes. You still had like a schedule. Now you're in like, you're running as a pro, and it's all about like, you train and that's it. You don't have to worry about classes. You don't have to worry about, team points or, doing this or that. And it's just you and whatever training group that you were in. I'm not sure, but how was that transition?
It was a little bumpy at first, just because you're used to having other distractions, right? You're used to having to do other things, and now this is your job, this is your life, this is how you make your money. So it was just taking like all those other little things I used to do as far as like class and treatments and all this other stuff, like study hall. Now you're doing rehab, you're doing cardio, extra work with your trainer, you're doing film study. Right, you're either watching your own, you're watching somebody else's. You're going over stack charts to try to figure out what you're trying to do with your percentages the next day. You're going over your nutrition. You're cooking your own food, so you know exactly what's in it. So you just make sure that you're filling your time with how can I make myself the best possible athlete possible. So I treated it like a 9 to 5. Like I would give myself set things I needed to do throughout the day. Then I could do other fun things after like 6 o'clock. But until then, like, we're at work. Like this is work.
So you have a really good PR, 44.41. You were under 44.5. There is a very select few of human beings that have gone under 44.5, and your 800 PR ain't so bad either, 150.70. When you look at it, are you more proud of going sub 44.5, or did you wish you would have gotten that 149?
So, I could see. I wanted 149. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted that. I might train again just to see if I can't gut one out. I'll take 149.99. But
who cares?
Yeah. But I also had a race where I know 44 low was on the books, if not 43. I know the exact race. It was Beijing prelims in 2015, and so much went on. And like I know how I felt, how much I sold up, and like that was the race. That was the PR race, and I messed it up because of a prelim run, and I treated it like a prelim. And I look at the clock, and I'm like, I should have kept running. Like, like damn, I should have kept running. But no, that 150, it hurt. Like, I don't know if I can do it again. My earlobes down to my toes hurt. Like I've never had that much pain.
The 800 meters is a brutal event, man.
Yeah. Like, hats off to those guys that are out there dogging it, like sprinting. Like,
listen,
I know you got that Robbie Andrews, who's been my boy since college.
We had him with Robbie, Clayton, Eric Sawinski, Mike. We get you the training. We got you. We can get you there.
Yo, right? Hey, I might have to talk to y'all, but no, those guys are hats off to them, because I told myself to kick. Like I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm getting around. I told myself to kick at 200. Nothing happened. Like I've never had my mind, my body decide to just not work.
Nope.
Like I was like, okay, here we go, and nothing. Like I just lock city.
That's why still to this day, like the greatest things that I ever saw was like David Verburg running like a 140. Like I don't know how that's humanly possible.
That's insane. Like
he goes out like 48 and just it's like it's insane.
It keeps going. Like I can do that in a 500 and then barely call home. He's going 800. No chance, man.
It's
like
wild.
hats off to them.
So in 2013, right?
Mhm.
You go to that was your first World Championships, right?
Yes.
And in Moscow. And you are running in the finals of the 4x4. What was that like? Like, I am in the World Championship finals with 3 other guys representing the United States in a race. Like, let's be honest. If USA loses the 4x4, it ain't good because that's a race that we have dominated for a long time. So, what is that pressure like? And how, did you have any practice with those guys in the past? Because I know there's a big thing, it's not as big of a deal 4x4, but like the 4x1, everyone's on different teams, so they don't get to practice handoffs. Was there any continuity, or you guys just said, let's go? We have USA. We can't lose this race.
Yeah, no, that's a loaded question. So I wasn't supposed to be on that relay technically. Technically, I was supposed to just run prelims, and that was my only job because I got 6th at nationals that year.
Right. And it's top 6, right? Who qualified?
Yeah, make it in. But I'm basically I'm like that last reserve. I get to run prelims and then go about your day. Shoot. Like that was my role.
Yep.
But I came to training camp on a mission. Like I came to training camp like I'm gonna bust heads. Like we here, I'm gonna show off. So I remember I had a workout and I went 31.5 at practice, in the 300. And everybody's like, "Oh fuck!" Mind you, I'm not doing an open event or anything like that. So they're like, "Oh, okay." Like he's moving. Multiple coaches out there timing and looking, and they're like, I did it in front of all the coaches. Like I knew what I was doing. Like I went out there that day, like
put on a show. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna show off today. Like I knew what I was doing, and it worked. They're like, all right. So I ran prelims. I had one of the faster times, if not the fastest time in our prelim round. But I thought my job was done. So I go back that night. I'm like, all right, like the boy's gonna hold it down tomorrow. I'm done. So I go off and do my thing. Like I'm partying up a little bit. Like I'm having a little fun. Like I thought I was done. Rookie mistake. Mind you, nobody told me rookie mistake. So I get a call. Like, hey man, how you feeling? Good, coach. Feeling good. Glad the boy's ready to go. You're leading off. What? Oh, what? 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 Coach? What? Mind you, I hadn't done it. I had never done this. I'd never let off. I was an anchor in college, anchor in high school.
Right.
Never let off relay. Now you want me to lead off USA 4x4 at World Champs.
World Champs. Yeah.
First get. I was like, yeah, okay. Didn't sleep. I did not sleep well that night at all. The nerves were like probably the worst I've ever had the next day. I had on double spandex, so I had on like the speed suit. But then that was back when they were doing like real picky about like the uniform. So then I had like top over that because they would make sure we were exactly matching.
Yep.
My legs are a little tight. I'm like, this is all bad. Like my legs are a little tight. Like I've never been out here. Like I almost like thought I was gonna have like a nervous panic attack in the call room. Then we walked out there. And I was like, oh, no, fuck this. This is why I'm here. Like, like,
got this huge crowd. You're in Moscow. You got this crowd. You're like, all right, everything's good to go.
This is what you've been waiting for, man.
Did it help more that it was Russia and it was like, I'm Team USA in Russia. We got to go out there and show out.
It kind of did. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, you hold it down for USA.
You felt like Rocky.
Rocky Balboa.
Moscow, Russia. Like, you got USA on your chest. And something about that. Yeah, something about that just does something for you. I'm not gonna lie. So I went out there. I had the fastest split that day out the blocks. And that kind of just kicked off the USA career for me. I was league leg after that. I kind of earned that spot. Cause I think before like the new kids on the block, I want to say like myself and like Andrew Bauman had like two like the fastest league legs for USA. At the time.
Funny story. Andrew Bauman went to Alex's high school, and I coached his
baby repping.
Yep.
No way.
Yeah, Andrew Bauman. That's our greatest athlete in the history of our high school.
Yep.
I mean, he's one of the greatest athletes that we got. Great man, great coach. So yeah, that's small world. I love to hear that though. So yeah,
the whole Bauman family, good people.
So you win world championships, and you were an integral part, leadoff leg. What's it like being on that podium? for the first time. Like hearing the Star Spangled Banner, and you're like, I just have with that World Championship gold medal necklace. I mean, medal on your neck.
It's a different type of pride, you know, like to hear the Star Spangled Banner, to know that you went out and represented your country and your family and your friends to like the best of your ability, and you get to stand on top. That's one of the best feelings. Like it's pure joy. Like I don't know how to describe besides just pure joy in that moment. You know, it's an amazing feeling. Like that's an addictive feeling for sure. It's just pride mixed with just pure pleasure, just being up there knowing that you beat the world, you know, like it's a relay. I don't care what people say. It's not an open. It's a relay. I don't give a damn. Yeah, you and three of the guys from your country just whooped ass. Like, you know,
it's a world championship event. You still have to have 4 people on at the same time. I don't care if it's
thank you. If y'all don't like
arguably the most exciting event on the track.
Thank you. So I hate when I hear people say, "Oh, that's a relay medal." Y'all can suck my balls too, because y'all don't. LeBron on the team, y'all don't give him shit. You know, yes, it's me and 3 other people, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, and I'm sure people, anyway, but yeah, that's
who cares. Now listen,
so here's a quick question: what's that like now that obviously individual 400 was a goal, but you now become a mainstay for almost the better part of a decade on the 4x4 unit, running in not only the prelims, because there are a lot of people, great 400 meter runners that will get you there, right, in these world championship events, the Olympic events, but now you are a mainstay on the finalist group running the 4x4. Is there a gear that kind of switches there? Like, yeah, I'm still after that individual medal, but I know that my name is going to be called for that 4x4 because I know how to run championship 4x4s. Is there kind of a different mentality there going in? Like, I know how to do this. I've been there. And do coaches kind of look at that experience at that point? Because I feel like right now we have Vernon Norwood. He's probably the best 400 meter starter in the world right now. The man runs an opening leg fantastically. Something that you ended up becoming, one of your main things, being our opener, being a great opener for the 4x4 team. Is there something there that mentally switches when you go from, again, obviously the individual is the goal, but knowing that I am a part of the United States 4x4, like this is mine. Is there something there?
No, hats off to Vernon though, because he has been consistent and a solid part of the team throughout the years. So hats off to him. We've had our differences in the past, but he's a solid runner. Ball bastard. To be honest, you don't know you have a spot. Crazy enough. Right. So every time a new year rolls around, I'm hoping I get picked. Like, to be honest, like I'm hoping I'm still on that team because USA is so deep.
No, USA 400 meter it's
best in the world.
If you were top 4 there, like, if you're on that team, like you know that, like, I mean, not that anybody is interchangeable, but you could choose from like 10 guys and still have a good chance of winning Olympic gold every year. Like there's so many amazing 400 meter runners. So to be picked multiple times for that team, I mean, that's an amazing accomplishment.
Thank you. No, and each time it's with the same joy and pride like it was the first time. Because again, it's never guaranteed because the USA is so deep. You have so many new athletes coming in. And it's a 400. Anything could happen any given day, right? It's not guaranteed. And again, we are so deep and have so much rich history in the 400 that just to be selected once, blessing, twice, blessings. So it's just the hunger each year to want to be like to keep that spot and to make sure that they can depend on me each time. And that's what it's about. Each time they go out there, they know like I'm gonna give my everything to get that around and to do whatever I can. So it is. Yeah, it comes down to times, but it also comes down to, is he consistent? Is he dependable? Like, how does he handle rounds?
Or his nerves in that big race? Will it be bigger than he can? So
how did he handle it?
Is he drinking the night before? Is he out there partying instead of getting ready to be the opening leg without knowing about it?
Into account for sure. And so I always make sure I was about my business.
Yeah,
I'm always pretty vocal in team rooms. I was voted a team captain at one point for one of our world relay teams.
I saw that.
I'm always, again, pretty vocal about what I think and what I think needs to be done, like on the track, on the sport, in a polite way and everything like that. But at the same time, I'm not scared to voice my mind and my opinion. So with that comes experience, comes time to know that when it comes to putting me in the relay, it comes to the nerves, he's gonna at least be able to hold it down, right? He's gonna give us consistency.
And it's got to be nice knowing, all right, if it's close, we have LaShawn Merritt running the anchor leg. So we're in pretty good shape.
LaShawn Machine Merritt has saved us multiple times. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. LaShawn Merritt has dug us out of some holes. Virginia boy. Legend in the game.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's a blessing for me to have like grown up watching his videos, watching LaShawn Merritt, watching Jeremy Warner's. And then to be able to be on relays with them was very surreal.
Jeremy Warner was one of my favorite athletes. He was just so consistent.
To this day, like I still watch his Stockholm race. I still watch it.
And it's always cool knowing, hey, you know what? I got the 400-meter hurdle guy on the anchor leg. He ain't getting tired. He's coming through because he's used to those hurdles. You know, you see it now with like Benjamin and those guys. You know, like. All right.
Exactly.
And I'm running with the dude that wears shades and wins races. If you wear shades, you got to win. Warner wore the shades. You got to win if you're throwing the shades on. That's kind of cool.
Shades and a chain. You have a combination. That's lethal. Like, that's a different type of swag. That's it. And he had the diamond studs like back when diamond studs were real.
Anytime you break Michael Johnson's college record, you're doing something right.
Jeremy Warner, a bad man. That is a legend.
So, David, what was your favorite group of guys to run with? What was your favorite 4x4 team that you were ever a part of? And, just kind of saying that's kind of surreal because you were a part of so many world championship, world indoor championship, an Olympic championship, 4x4. Like you have a lot to choose from. And that's kind of a testament to how good you were. But what was your favorite team to be a part of?
My favorite team was World Indoors 2014.
World record. Come on.
That's not even it's only a little sprinkle of why. It's because we all just started our pro careers.
Clayton Paris was on that team.
Who
wasn't Clayton Paris on that team?
Yeah. Clayton was on the team with us. Yeah, Clayton was on the team. We had Kyle Clemens, we had Con Butler, we had Calvin Smith, and myself, and we were just.
It was like younger guys who weren't really known as much, and you guys went out there and you broke the world record.
We weren't known really at all. We kind of just like I had the world before that. Kyle had some things like we all had like little sprinklings here and there, but none of us were really any big hitters. None of us really known. And we were talking about that record the second we made the team. Con Butler started saying like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna break the record." Like, man, shut up! Oh, no, we're gonna break it. The whole time we're out there, we're talking like, "No, we can do this. Like, we can do this." Like, imagine if we broke it. Like, because we just know we're a ragtag group. Like, what if we did that? And we went out there and we the fact we talked it and then we did it was magical. Like that was a really really special moment.
You ran second leg, right, on that race? You were second.
I did. I ran second leg. I ran a really hard turn, kind of got us out of some spots, and then we just took it home. We had solid legs after that. Kyle Clemens got third indoors that year, and then came back, ran the relay hard for us. So it was just a great time. We were just a young group to break a world record at a world championship. Yeah, it's special. And then it's been broken 12 times since then. But we
everything's broken now. Everything's broken.
Yeah, we broke it first. So
you know what? Your name is still etched in history as a world record team. So no one can take that away from you.
Back somewhere under my bed.
Hell yeah!
No, that was special.
So you were a guy that had a lot of success in your career. All intents and purposes, a pro athlete that has a lot of success in their career should never have to work the rest of their damn lives. We have an issue in track and field where we have amazing runners that go on, have
throwers,
5,
jumpers.
6, 7, throwers, jumpers, 10-year careers. And then we hear about them. Yeah, they come places. The running community knows them, but they're back to running a pro shop. They're doing this. They got business. They got to grind their asses off still and work. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be that way. So what would you do if we gave you the magic 8-ball and you were able to shake it and whatever you said came through and happened? What would you do to fix this sport and improve it so that we can get more casuals and we can get the pros paid?
So this has been bounced around in multiple ways and forms, but I would make a pro league, very similar to F1.
Circuit, yep.
Like actual pro circuit, like not the fake shit we got now, like because that's keeping money in certain people's pockets, and we all know it. Like, make an actual pro circuit that benefits everybody, because you would have more sponsors, you would have more fans, and you get athletes paid how they deserve to be paid.
And you can advertise like this person's going to be at this meet, on this day.
On this
find
day.
out 2 days prior that this person's going to be at this meet.
Yeah, like it's too scattered.
That's
like,
over in Europe. We have to have it here, and we need more facilities here in America that are track specific.
I agree 100%. I think we should honestly just combine indoor and outdoor and do away with the dumb shit and just have we're gonna have a long league, have an indoor or have a winter session, summer session. The summer sessions will be during the wintertime in the warmer places, winter session in the hot places. Just figure it out, but actually have a actual league. All the companies put up two of their best runners in each event, have that throughout the season so that everybody can follow. For example, I'm with Diodora now. So Diodora has 2 400 guys. Cool. Adidas has 2 400 guys. Nike, 2 400. Asics, everyone has 2 400 guys. We have prelims and finals. We have prelims on Friday, finals on Saturday. We'll go about it from there. See if you make it out. Of course, you have to figure out the numbers, but actually have an actual league. So I know for a fact Noah Lyles will be at these 18 spots throughout the season. Then I can book my plans accordingly. I can watch some TV time and I can actually go and see it. And then you have sponsors actually want to get involved too because they know that their athlete's going to be at these places.
So, David, what would you do? Sebastian Coe earlier this year announced that they're doing away with just calling it indoor track and they're calling it short track. So they're basically saying they want to, bring 200-meter tracks outdoors, possibly do pop-up 200-meter tracks inside of stadiums, things like that. What would you like to see the sport kind of shift to going to more of a short track so we could do what you say, where we can have an indoor 200 short track as well as a short track league outdoor that kind of goes? Or do you want to keep it 200 indoor, 400 outdoor?
No, I'm all for switching it up. I feel like we got to try something. I know people are bitching and moaning and saying this and that. Look, man, trying. You have to try something to switch it up. For a lot of people were real hype about the old like Ben Johnson and MJ races indoors, like inside football stadiums. Do some more of those. Like I want to see. I know people talking about like we want to see Michael Norman versus Freddie in the 150.
Listen,
I see that.
I loved how Curly and Jacobs had this little thing on Twitter going back and forth. It never transpired because of injury, but we need more of that. And we need better TV coverage. Like not everybody's going to pay for Peacock, and we've had guests and say like a track meet itself is too long. So you need a window where it's all finals. It's all boom, 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 boom. Nobody wants to watch 6 rounds of the 800.
No, nobody does. Nobody does. So that's why you have to split it up some way. Have more star head-to-heads, and you can have like a head-to-head meet where we have top 2 in each event go at it, top 2 in country whatever go at it head-to-head. So we just see like each jumper 3 jumps. That's it. Tara versus the world. Something like that. Like whatever you got to do, but make it a short, fun track meet, in and out, fun and exciting. Have a knockout mile indoors. Yeah. Run really fast. I'm not excluding anybody. We can make it so every event has something. And have, like
Alex has said, have different days. Like one day it's just jumps. One day it's weights. So you're not cutting back and forth in the middle of a 10K to watch the throws, and then you're missing up the race, but then you're also missing some throws, or you're going to a commercial in the middle of a race.
Personally, I'm a big fan of the field events. I think what you're able to do is pure insanity, and I personally do not have balls for most of it. So, but I hate that you can't see it. I can't see triple jump, which I think is one of the most spectacular jumps to watch. Long jump, amazing.
I want to watch Ryan Krause throw 77 feet.
I'm about to say you're watching modern day
Mondo jump 21 feet in the pole vault.
It's like amazing feats of athleticism, and I'm seeing little clips like it's nothing. Like that's disrespectful. It's honestly disrespectful to the whole field events. And if y'all want to have them at the events, y'all need to show them the same time, or why are they there? And if they're not there, that's a whole bigger conversation. They need to have their own event then. If you're gonna treat them like that,
track and field.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing that always annoyed me about this debate, though, is we all talk about we don't want to watch the boring part of it, right? How does tennis get you to watch 8 rounds? How does golf get you to watch 4 days? How does NASCAR get you to dedicate 4 hours every single weekend with 3 different events that people watch. Truck, people watch the secondary circuit, people watch it. We can do this. We can do this without canceling things out, but we need better commentary.
It has to be more known. People have to have a better idea of what it is.
Agreed, but we also need a better brand of commentary. We need a better brand of what we're doing here. No one understands that Jacob Ingebrigtsen just ran a 7:54 and what that means in the 2-mile. Nobody understands that he was running 16 miles an hour the whole fucking time. Like
the whole time.
The whole time. Nobody gets that. And the thing is, nobody talks about it. And when you don't get Sports Center, Fox Sports 1, doing these types of things. Sports science should just quite literally be dedicated to track and field, because you could do sports science on the best athletes in track and field. Outside, when people did it with Usain Bolt, it was exciting. So people got to understand the dude was as fast as a cheetah. Like, people understood that, but no one understands that even as you go higher, the ridiculousness, or the fact that Ryan Krauser threw 16 pounds, 25 yards in football. When you have people that can't throw a football 25 yards.
Exactly.
It's like, that's the thing, that we don't do these type of translations and we don't fight for it. That's the thing. That's my biggest issue. And we're starting to slowly see that. And I'm curious, what's your opinion of this? Because you're an opinionated guy, which is good. We need more of this. But we see Michael Johnson, RG3, Emmanuel Acho, Clayton Murphy have been kind of, for the bigger ones lately, really kind of going at it, talking shit on Twitter, throwing out ideas. Do you think we need more of this? Does it kind of look like guys kind of whining that like, oh, track doesn't get enough attention? Or is it good to have more high profile guys talking like this? And do we need more of it, less of it? What's your opinion, David?
I think they're doing a great job. I think you need more of it, because you need to have discussions. You need to have open topics with big names. And it's not whining. It's open town hall debate. That's what Twitter is. It's the town hall debate, trying to figure out what to do. And you do that by having discussions. They all might not be amicable, right? Some might be a little more hostile than others, but at the end of the day, we're all trying to figure out, right, what to do with the sport. So no, I think what they're doing is great. I think you need to have more conversations, more controversy, like the whole Tara Davis, Kanisha Burke's controversy. That was amazing, right? Hype that up. Let's make it fun. Like, track has been very boring, right, in the past.
It's just been very professional
and like outside of it, like, right, what happens, like, there's so many exciting stories, so many exciting people, so much goes on in the sport, but we just don't get to see it. So giving people a chance to see like what goes on, like, understand like the sport is more than just the times on the track, more than just the long jumps. But
so here's the thing. I don't know if unionizing is possible in a sport like track. We see with a lot of individual sports that will be tough. But should there be something where the best athletes in track and field, at least in the United States, gets together in some way at least once a year to kind of talk about what's important to us? What do we need to do? Or is there too much? You've dealt with contracts. You signed with Adidas twice. Is there too much individual stuff riding on to actually give a shit about the person next to you? Do you have to do what you need to do to fulfill your contract and not worry about the dude that you know is your friend, grinding, needs to hit this, but if I don't get mine, I don't eat, so I don't care about them? Like, do we need more of a brotherhood and a sisterhood inside of track and field where we're caring more about everybody getting a piece instead of, let's call it as it is, Sidney McLaughlin, the Thing Mo, Noah Lyles, maybe that's it, really, the big three really getting sponsorships, really getting paid, when there's so many great athletes that should be getting paid at their level in terms of what they put out there. Like, who knows Armando Duplantis? Who knows Ryan Krauser? Who knows all these people? Michael Norman just ran one of the fastest 400s ever. One of the best ever in the World Championships. And who knows his name anymore? No one.
Yeah.
So should we be encouraging something like that where the best athletes kind of get there? Or is that kind of impossible with the way the contract structures are now?
Speaking from just personal, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's highly unlikely under the current system.
Yep.
Because you have fewer pro meets, so you have fewer chances for athletes to make their money. So now you're more reliant on what contracts you do have. And so you don't want to do anything to potentially piss off said sponsors or to go against the contract that you signed that you need, because there aren't these other opportunities for you. So under the current system, I don't think there's a way to do it. I'm not going to say how the answer to how to fix it, because, again, it's a very individual sport. So how do you get everyone to unionize? Like, with everyone having different contracts that say different things. You would have to get the shoe brands to come together and agree on some sort of certain terms, but who's going to do that?
That ain't happening.
Who's going to do that when Nike knows that they don't have to? So they're going to be big middle finger to everybody, and then they're going to sit out. So now you're left with, the other big four trying to figure out like how to make this work. It's just not gonna have that cohesion between the brands.
So who do you know with the deep pocket? Who do you know with the deep pocket? Like or a dude like a Dana White with charisma, like someone like that is going to sit there and say, "Hi, this is the Verburg track circuit. If you run for my circuit and you win in my circuit, you're the world champion. Fuck everybody else. This is the only circuit that counts. USATF, your rankings don't matter. My rankings matter. World Athletics, your rankings don't matter. Your $1 million over there at the Diamond League don't mean nothing. You sign with me, we'll get you sponsors. I'll pay you $100,000 for the win. You're making $5 million with sponsors. Where is that individual track, and why is it such a short-sightedness with the most popular sport, maybe only secondary to motorsports on the planet?
Soccer, baby.
It's more popular than soccer in terms of participation, 100%. More runners, people that play soccer.
Yeah,
I think it honestly overall, and if you're looking at high school, collegiate, pro, overall, it might be more popular than soccer, competing with it, because it's all around the world too. It's a national sport in how many countries? It is a national sport in a bunch of countries along with soccer, but maybe those three are interchangeable. It's one of the top three most popular sports in the world. So where are your friends with deep pockets, David? Where are they?
I got a couple. I need to make some calls because we need a nitro circuit or something to just throw out some money.
We'll be the announcers. We will be the announcers. Dave and I will call these races. That man next to me is an encyclopedia. He will give you the better insight, and I'll just yell. I'll be like a Spanish announcer in soccer yelling goal. Like, I will do this.
That's the best. Like, think about that, though. Like, the Spanish, like, that's what I watched Sunday morning soccer with La Liga. I used to watch that back for that reason, right? The goal. That was
goal.
Like,
a lot of times, a lot of times you're watching the track and you're like, oh, they just broke the world record. Like they're not yelling and screaming like, what?
It'll be the driest. And here he goes, breaking the world record. That's a wonderful pace today. Really, like, bro, come on, like, give me some, give me something, give me some excitement. Like, there should be something, but. I agree. The commentating needs to change a little bit, just the format. I like what they're doing as far as like giving the athletes some more intro, giving some flavor to it. I feel like they're starting to finally get it in a sense. Like,
I mean, I'm an anime nerd. When Team Japan was coming out doing Naruto signs, I was pumped. Like,
that was amazing. I was pumped. I said it last week. I said it last week. I'm a fan to help casual fans of the lights. Follow the lights for the distance races. Like the paces. So like the casual fan, like, oh, so if they stay ahead of that light, it'll keep them more engaged. It's like in football, the yellow line for the first down, like that changed everything.
I think it's a beautiful addition. It's like I think that's amazing. Like there's just little stuff like that just to help the casual fan understand what's going on. Because if you just turn it on, you're like, what the? They're running how many laps, doing what? Like, that's a jump. Like, what does that jump mean? Like, put a digital graph of a bus next to it so I can see, like, oh my God, like he just jumped.
He just jumped a whole bus. Yeah.
So exactly.
Give me something so I know. Like, otherwise it just looks like I can go outside and jump in my sand pit. Like, that's what people are thinking.
Yeah.
Like, give me some comparisons.
For the sprint events, it shouldn't be a light. It should just be like a wall of fire. If the guy's past the wall of fire, he's burning up the track. Like, that would be ideal. Could you imagine for the men and women? If they beat that wall of fire, they just got the world record.
Yes.
That'd be dope.
Give me something like that. So I want to sit there and be like tuned in on that Saturday for that track meet. Now, of course, the fans in the stands, they don't need that because they're in the stands. So you know why? Because they watch on TV. Now they want to see it in person. But they understood that because they got to watch it.
And the casual fan, they don't understand that there's a way different types of races in terms of like a Diamond League when you're going for world records and times than when you're in the Olympics where it's all about place. It's about getting a place, especially, the longer distance races. You're not going to see world records in the Olympics or worlds because that's about pace and place. Like, I feel like every race now is about time, and we've lost this sense of how to race. It's all you got to run fast. Every sponsor's looking for fast times, and they're not worried about where you actually place. Like, we have like someone run like a 3:30, 1500, and no one cares because like that they got 10th place. They just cared that they ran fast. There's no sense in an actual race and competing.
Well, arguably, Eric Holt's 337 this past week was a fantastically raced 337. It wasn't the 328 we saw 2 weeks ago, but it was a great race. He won the race. So it's like there is that sense that is missing.
And I think as track fans, like we do it to ourselves sometimes. We just get so caught up on wanting to see that world record. It's like that's not. Sometimes we just need to see some strategy. Like we just want to see some racing. Yep. Like everything's not going to be a world record. Everything can't be, especially when they're talking world record pace, this and that. It's a May. No athlete wants to win a world record in May because that means you're going to be dog crap. I mean,
August, you're done.
But you're done for the thing. You know what I'm saying? You have to hold on till August, my boy.
Yeah.
September. So they're not trying to run these record paces at this time. We're trying to just compete, trying to race. And like now you have media outlets and this and that dogging them because they're not running 9.5 or 9.6 every race. You know what it takes to do that? Like, like
wild.
You know the buildup it takes to do this, like eke this out of your body and then to hold on to that PR, that break, or that top end for an extended amount of time. And especially as Americans, we have USA champs, which is, I don't care, the hardest team to make it. And then you have to do it again at World Champs.
But that the U.S. Nationals, they're in June, or like early July, and you're not running Worlds for like another month.
Yep. So you're playing a funny game of like peak and peak again.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that is not easy. So last thing I want to jump in, would you think that bringing back a team aspect would help us see a lot more athletes competing more often? Because right now, we've heard from a few of the pros that we talked to that there's no reason to go race if you're not 100% because your contract demands that you get a victory or you get a place or you get a time. And if you're not able to do that, then there's no reason. You might as well scratch. You could be, 95%. But if you ain't at that 100, there's no reason to go out there, especially if you're racing against other people that are right at your level. And, in those elite Diamond League races, especially in like a 1 and a 2, that little bit of difference could be first, second, third, or dead last. There's no real wiggle room there. So do you think if we brought back a team aspect where it was, go do this for your team. Team points matter. You want to win this dual meet against this other team or this tri meet you're trying to battle. And
there's a bonus.
There's team records and you have a record in a race and this and that. And I bring up horse racing again, but I feel like we should do that a lot. Where have you been? Have you been in win, place, or show? Where have you been in the last few races? And people could see that in a team aspect. Do you think that would bring back more racing, bring back more competition, more strategy, less all out, but more of us as fans not demanding those world record times, but looking and going, look, well, who's in our 4x4? Or David's leading off? Okay, Verburg's leading off. Okay, we're good here. Who's he running with? I know we got a good chance against the Explode. The Ignite can beat them. We know it might come down to that 4x4. Verburg, he ain't doubling today. Good. Like, would we kind of accept a slower time because our team is winning?
Fans love team sports.
Yeah.
Fans love team sports. They like rooting for a team.
I personally think that would make it exciting, right? Like tracks looking for answers, looking for what. And from a sponsor standpoint, I feel like you would want to, because now you can have team jerseys. Now you can sell merchandise. Now fans want to buy the Noah Lyles 19-3 jersey, like put your PR on the back, something like you can make it fun, but the fans now want to buy and rep this jersey. Athletes now can get a little piece of the sales, and you kind of see now athletes can understand like where your marketing tells them to play because they have like a team shoe. You can have a team shoe, team jersey, like boom, there you go. Now you have team points. Not so worried about the world record, but can the team get the points? Yep. You're going to see teams switching it up. You're going to see Lyles in the 1 with 2 sometimes doubling. You might see teams putting in somebody in a completely different event just to get the points, but you're going to see athletes being athletic in a high caliber situation. So I'm all for it.
As an athlete, hold on real quick, David. Real quick question before it leaves me. As an athlete, would you be in favor of that? Because would that kind of extend your career? Would you be able to sit there and, just go and, okay, I don't have to run a 45 every time. In this meet, I can run a 46. And I know that even as an older athlete, there's a team that might need my experience to get a third place instead of having to win all the time. Like, would you feel better as a pro knowing that even in your twilight years, you could still be a part of a team, still be a part of something special, and elongate your career.
Oh God, 46. But no, no, I agree. I think so because again, like the second you're not in that like 1%, you're out. Like track is, you can't have a bad day in track.
It's cutthroat. It's cutthroat.
You can't have a off time. You can't even be okay. Like you have to be fucking amazing. And if you're not making anything, right? And like that's what's crazy. I switched to rugby. I'm a pro in a whole other sport.
That's awesome, dude.
Like in a couple of matter of months, not to brag, but just because, like, again, I can be elite at something else, but I'm so far from being that 1% in track and field. Like, just because people understand how much it takes to be like that good. Like, it takes every little ounce of perfection to hold on to that. You can't have a bum ankle. You can't be a little tight or sore or like a little mentally sad. Okay, you're out. Like that's that day. You're done.
You only have so many races too. Like it's hard to do it year after year after year. I mean, it weighs. That's why you don't see many 35-year-olds running the 400 at a. It's hard.
It takes a lot out of you. Like the training takes a lot out of your body. It takes a lot out of your physical, your mental.
Yeah.
I was say your mental takes a hit. People don't talk about that as much, but mentally you're going in there and going through some shit as well. So yeah, no, it definitely takes a like the running back of the NFL. I feel like that's what the 400 feels like. Like you get in,
and those guys are done by like 30 in the NFL. Like you're like a 30-year-old running back. They're like, all right, next.
Yeah, running backs have like they get in, have that whatever career they can get in, they get out. Like, but the 400, you're taking punches. Like, you're getting beat up at practice. You're going to races and you're maxing out your body. Your body's trying to shut down. You're telling them, nah, you're going to keep going day in, day out. So,
and just the mental part of it. Like, I mean, I can't imagine stepping up to my blocks, looking a little bit back to me. There's Jeremy Warner. Looking a little bit. There's LaShawn Merritt. Up ahead of him is Tony McQuay. Maybe Nyshawn Brellum. It's like, shit, man. Like,
Ronnie
what am I gonna do? Like, and then just the American.
Hey, listen.
It's just the Americans.
Yeah, just thinking about it. That's a race, man. That's
just the Americans. That's not adding some of the Bahamas and the islands that are running fast all the time. Chris Brown and stuff like that. Like,
I thought Ronnie James was like 40 years old. He's like 33. He's like 33. Like, I mean, he's been around forever. I'm like, he's only 33. Like,
I remember racing Ronnie at Alabama, like his freshman year. Yeah, he's
like, but that's why it's hard. It's like when you're 32, 33, especially in that now. Distance runners can kind of hold on longer because there's different ways. Like it's more like a strategy thing, in a sense. But sprinters and 400-meter runner, man, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
So I want to talk. I want to talk about something awesome that I read and saw about you. So you were in your car with your buddy, right? And this viral video comes out of you running into the intersection and saving a tortoise, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you wake up and there's like 1 million views, and then all of a sudden you get a call and you're on the Ellen Show. What was that like? How cool was that? She gives you a $10,000 check for your foundation. That had to just be the coolest thing. So how did that all come about? And like, that just had to be a thrill.
Man, just story of my life, man. Nothing's planned. It all just kind of happened randomly. Yeah, no, I crazy thing is I've done that for years, do it all the time. Ran out, saved the tortoise, posted it. Like I post animal videos all the time on my social media because I love animals, grew up on a farm. And yeah, it blew up overnight. I thought my phone was glitching because I woke up and had 1 million views, and then it just skyrocketed. It's like 45 million views now, and like more than that, like over like worldwide, which is insane to think about. I thought the call was a scam. Like they hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, and some other things. And I was like, oh yeah, Ellen, yeah, right. Like I thought it was a scam. Like, somebody trying to scam me. But nah, like they flew me out there. They told me, well, first they wanted to figure out who I was. And then they realized like, oh shit, like you're an Olympian, like you do all this other stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, like they're like, do you want to come out here? I'm like, oh, Dad, why not? So they flew me out, took amazing care of me. Ellen and her staff were great. I had nothing but nice things to say. It was a really amazing experience. Honestly, just super random. It was a super random experience. Never had really planned on ever being on that show. I probably seen a couple episodes of it before that, but no, it was a fun experience. But what cool part was it happened afterwards, which was just the amount of people that sent in videos to this day of like rescuing turtles. Like, hey, I saw your video. Like, here's me rescuing a turtle. Like, hey, I'm doing this because I saw you do it. Or I'm saying this because I think you would like it. And like that's cool to me. Like the video did exactly what I wanted to do, which was make people aware like these little guys are walking and just to save them. So I thought of the turtle toters. So now if people send in a video of them rescuing a turtle, I send them a T-shirt, and then I add their name to the back of rescuers on the back. So you can kind of get a little something for what you're doing.
That's awesome. I want to be an honorary member because back in Pine Lake Park, New Jersey, we had box turtles walking all around from the lake, and we always saw them, and we would always go. And a bunch of us, it would be sad when you would see one crush. Like that was sad. Like that was like our mascot over in Pine Lake Park. So we would get out every once in a while, and even if we're not even in the car, to see one in the middle of the road to be like, you idiot, like moving over this. Like, what are you doing this far away from the lake? Like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, what are you doing, little bro?
And then have my mom yell at me to wash her hands. Like my mom yelled at me to wash my hands and stuff like that.
I got you. Honorary turtle toters. I got you. Coming your way.
I love it. I love it. But David, this was a blast, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
No. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure for sure.
So let's give a shout out. Go ahead, Dave. What do you got?
No, I was going to mention what I think that you're going to mention now.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to your company, Birdco Jewelry. Tell us about that. What you got a company though? What's that all about?
Yeah. So along with all the other stuff I do, I started a jewelry company. Basically, my sister worked for K's for 10 years as a jeweler, high-end direct, and then I've always made like tinkered and made jewelry myself. Had some connections, and I was tired of getting screwed over by jewelers in the mall and online. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it myself. So yeah, I set up shop here in Houston, make custom jewelry with gold and all kinds, do watches, and yeah, it's just I lean towards athletes, try to give them good deals because again they get screwed over everywhere else. But yeah, no, I like shiny things. I love gold, so why not keep doing it?
Is there a website that you can are you online? Can we order online? What we got going on?
Sure, it's BurkoJewelry.com. That's the website. Also have an Instagram, and I'm going to start doing some pop-ups at some track meets coming very soon. So stay tuned to that. Yeah, I got to get out there. I have some stuff for kids, some PR chains coming, some cool things. So yeah, it's gonna be good stuff.
And
that's awesome.
Obviously your favorite color is gold. So I mean,
obviously not. Like how can you not like gold? Mankind has loved gold since the beginning of mankind. So yeah.
How you spell that? It's burgco.com. And so you're going to go on there, burgcojewelry.com. And we got to hook you up with Dave Alfano because he's the Trials of Miles guys. We'll convince him to let you set up shop over at his races.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, before we jump out of here, Dave, you got anything else you got to say before we jump out of here?
It's just always good to hear the perspective of an athlete who's been through it, who's been in the trenches, who's competed. And I always love hearing, every athlete that we have on who loves this sport. And we all realize that there are problems and issues with it. And I just hope that, maybe if we have any little part in putting together all these little conversations with people that we can help. So I just want to thank you for your input and, just best of luck in whatever's next. I mean, I don't know. Are you still running? Are you focusing more on rugby? What does your future kind of hold in terms of what you want to do as an athlete, or are you going to focus more on business and transition there?
All the above, to be quite honest. I'm a busy guy. So I still have my businesses. I do personal training for corporations. I have my jewelry business. I'm a rugby athlete. I'm getting into more road races coming up. Hey. I'm gonna start doing more. Yeah, I'm start doing some more road races, getting into that world. Cause I had some Achilles issues coming up, but when I'm running in flashes, no issue. So getting into more road races, busting heads over there. And just be an athlete for as long as I can. Who knows? So I just like doing athletic shit. So just keep doing that.
Love it. I love it. And I believe, and I'm looking back at it, I'm looking at the episodes. You're not only our first pro level sprinter, you're our first Olympic level sprinter as well. So you break into talking to Novel's mold here. Dave and I are both, I'm more of a middle distance guy. Dave was a middle distance guy. So we had a lot of more middle distance connections, but we got a sprinter. And that makes me real happy because right now we need more throwers. We need jumpers. We need a little bit of everything because This is talking in ovals. This is track and field. This is the whole world of athletics. We want everyone. So, David, once again, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate you jumping on, you doing all the things that you're doing. If you like what you heard, everybody, like, share, follow, subscribe, rate 5 stars, Spotify and iTunes. Spread this word of mouth. Go find us on Talking in Socials. Go find us on social media at Talking in Ovals. You'll see the logo there. We will be back again next week. So long, everybody.